Hello, hello. We are reading finally the new issue of Jump. It's a few days late, sorry about that. But we're starting off with Boku no Hero Academia. The last one had quite the revelation in it. Of course, a lot of people saw it coming, and I guessed very, very early on in the chapter, but it's cool that the plot is moving in this direction, that we have this new kind of thread, this new connection. That Dabi of the League of Villains is in fact Todoroki's brother, Endeavor's son, whom they thought was dead. And it looks like we got like kind of an investigation into what Dabi's been up to, this whole bizarre psychological torture plan where he pushed Endeavor to acknowledge his failures as a parent, gave him an opportunity to come to peace with it, to kind of redeem himself a little bit in his estranged son's eyes, and then pulled the rug right out from underneath his feet by saying, haha, just kidding, you were such a bad dad, you didn't even know that the kid you thought was dead because of your neglect was in fact a villain because of your neglect, and broadcasted a message to that effect to every TV station. Of course, I don't know who's going to be watching that or caring about that right now, given that they're much more concerned about Gigantomachia and the other gigantic natural disasters of villaindom, unnatural disasters, I guess. At any rate, now it seems like we're getting Dabi's backstory. The winds of winter howled that day and the air was dry. In the past, I used to train up on Seikoto Peak, and it was there that Toya burned to death. They say the fire burned at over 2,000 degrees Celsius. The body was never found. His bones were reduced to ash, and the blazes of draft scattered them to the wind. Only a fragment of his lower jawbone was found. And yet, at that time, I kept... This is Endeavor speaking, of course. Referring to the day he thought his first son died. His hair is turning white. Well, this toy didn't harbor frost within him. The fire he possessed was greater than my own. Okay, so that's kind of interesting, given that Dabi, of course, is now a major antagonist, and Endeavor, one of the strongest, if not the strongest hero on the hero's side, to have Endeavor himself admit outright, oh, Dabi's flames trump mine. They were greater than my own, is quite foreboding for future battles. And to overcome the inescapable downside of overheating, nevertheless Seta raised a boy to be a hero. I still yearn for a child whose quirk combined fire and ice. My wife wanted more children. So that goes against my understanding of this whole thing. That Endeavor was like cranking out babies aiming for this quirk. To say that his wife is the one that wanted more children is quite surprising to me. I don't know. And it's like his own narration. He's not saying this to anyone. This is just his own internal recollection, I'm pretty sure, that we're seeing here. So I have no reason to doubt him. Unless he's lying to himself. I don't know. Anyways, next one, Only Ice. It's happy all the same. Again, this goes against the kind of emotional turmoil and a house of suffering and of this quirk eugenics, this heartlessness that we've been kind of led to believe was the Endeavor household. Because Toy had more potential than me, I placed my ambitions on his shoulders. Thought it could be you. You could have been the one to reach my eternal goal. And here we see Toya having burnt himself, I guess, from overusing his flames. And then one brief panel, this is quite haunting, of Endeavor in present day. Looking on at Dabi, really trying to come to grips with the magnitude of what he's hearing. My frustration, my envy, the ugliness in my heart. You could have been the one to smash it all to dust. Toya is dead. Take back that despicable lie. And here is yet another... I've been talking about this every time I see one, but these perspective shots of Gigantomachia. Just anything that emphasizes like his hugeness. This is another good one. Some very dramatic staging here with Todoroki and Endeavor looking all the way up at this beast. And that's the despicable truth, Dad. Put together a whole agency of fire and heat type quirks you didn't even suspect me. Shigereki's still out cold. Gigantomachia kind of at a loss, at an impasse, not knowing what to do without the commands of his master. Another with quite the bloodline. So Compress knows, I guess, about Tomura's backstory. Shigereki's, of course, being the daughter of... No, the grandson of the previous inheritor of One for All before All Might. Test I ran has already gone public. Just have to convince you otherwise. I mean, I don't think holding up a test result on camera does anything. It's not like people will be... You can just print your own test. You can just go to, like, Photoshop and put it together. Okay, whatever. The point is that people are going to lose faith in Endeavor quite drastically, it seems. Endeavor made sure Mom kept having kids. Fourth one was someone most of you are familiar with. Long last, little Shoto is the successful creation. He abused that successful creation. I've seen him do it many times. And here, like, again, we are seeing two very different sides of this story. That Endeavor claims that his wife still wanted to have kids. I don't know why the camera got all blurry. Whereas Dabi is espousing kind of what I assumed, that Endeavor made his wife into this, like, quirk factory. And then, of course, the abuse of Todoroki. Like, we've seen firsthand what that kind of looks like. And yeah, like, it is an abusive relationship. But is it to the severity that Dabi is trying to imply? His other siblings getting the news, shocked, unsure how to handle this. Addicted to the limelight, a man who wallows in his own small-mindedness and self-importance. Not the sort of person who should call himself a hero. Here we see the Endeavor fanboys now losing it. Another shot of their room with all of this Endeavor merch. People ain't gonna lose faith in a hero over this. We're not that freaking stupid. Oh, snap. Oh, it doesn't end with Endeavor. Oh, this is very, very interesting. They go for the number one hero. Decisively take him down. That puts people in the mode of distrust. And now they can just show misleading footage, completely misleading footage. They can sabotage any career they want, completely manipulate, and very clever, very evil, very clever but evil. Is this footage of Hawks trying to subdue twice? Like, they admit that he's a villain. That crying villain who's trying to run away. I did my best to protect him. And it's not a misread of the situation, but of course Hawks cried and belabored over that decision and did everything he could, short of killing twice. You know, like, he tried to end it non-violently a million times, but in the end, there is this footage that they were able to get of Hawks mercilessly skewering him. Yeah. Perfectly spliced and edited even on the fly. Bow down to my skills. This guy is becoming more and more dangerous. The social media guy. Again, just all of these League of Villains peoples that at first you underestimate. And then when you think about it, it's not some gigantic twist that they have powers you don't know about, but just really thinking through the implications of the stated powers, you realize, like, oh, snap. This guy is a massive threat. Present to you, Endeavor. I did some digging into Hawks, that filthy spy. They're going to curry favor with us. Hawks even killed a hero. Huh? Number 3 hero who in fact was recuperated killed Bastionist. I think this one might just be 100% false. But it's being presented in this context where people will start to believe anything. Really no wonder, since his own father was a serial robber and murderer, a villain. Exactly why Hawks' background and real name were kept secret. So this was something that had been hinted at a little bit before. That Dabi and Hawks ended up in some sort of bizarre, like, orphaned, anonymous children hero training program, which seemed somewhat sinister and kind of like a black site sort of operation compared to your normal hero academies and stuff. We don't really know what's going on with that yet, but this idea that Hawks' father was this villain, I think is totally plausible given that context. It's Endeavor who captured his father, actually. Maybe it's that connection, some twist of fate that brought these men together. I couldn't let that stand. These twisted people with skeletons in their closet, they cover it all up with massive justice. They don't stop there. They call themselves heroes and keep fooling everyone. They just want everyone to stop and think. The only ones these heroes protect are themselves. With all that ugliness inside, they use you people to give them protection, approval, admiration. Wow. And here we see, this is an amazing shot of just all these different hero billboards. All these little references, like the laundry machine hero, and here's Hawks, and some heroes that I don't recognize, but maybe they've been referenced before, maybe they're somewhere in the lore. Something called Shadow Man Show, which is quite ominous. There's a hero called Shadow Man, I guess. I don't know about him. But yeah, this is a very interesting point. That in the end, if these people had been cast into a slightly different spotlight, they would be seen as villainous. They would be the outcasts of society. They would be reviled and loathed. But because they're able to market themselves as heroes, despite all of this insane evil in their past, whether it's true or not, the truth seems to be somewhere in between. I don't think Hawks killed Best Genus. That's kind of insane. I'm not sure where that came from, but I guess we still don't know where Best Genus does. Anyways, it's true. Like, it's true that the label of hero is what's doing the most work here. That they're protecting themselves by putting on a show of protecting others. But then, of course, in the Meta Liberation Army's viewpoint, they don't really protect other people. They just coddle and infantilize other people and make them dependent on their help. So we can see here kind of the interweaving of the League of Villains ideology and the Meta Liberation Army ideology. And overall, it presents a pretty compelling critique of the society of heroes, and one that I'm impressed that the series is going for. Typically, shonen series don't really undermine their own premises like this. It's a kid going to hero school to become a superhero. You don't expect 290 chapters later to become disillusioned with the concept of heroes and start wondering if the entire system is built on lies and about protecting horrible people. It's impressive. It's quite a good contemporary take, I think, to kind of challenge these institutions, to be skeptical of them. And I don't know how far it's going to go. Like, I can't really see how they can be like, well, Hawks didn't kill Best Genus. They can refute individual points. But his overall message, I think, is maybe going to be pretty powerful. Like, look at this. Wow, look at this. Look at this. All these reactions. Just this feeling of horror. Oh, that's the Can't You See kid. That's the kid that went viral for cheering on Endeavor during the fight against the Nomu. I see. I can see now. By speaking out, he's already won. Whether he's lying or not, that's a question for later. Might be a villain, but people are going to lose faith over this. I hate to say it, but me too. I'm sorry. Especially with all this damage and destruction. I see. So that's the real timing. It's not that they're trying to compete over these issues. It's that people were already losing faith in the heroes just by the tragedy and devastation of the incidents of the day so far. And now it's going to be like, well, what did you expect? They're terrible people. They're not even doing their best. They're just trying to protect their own egos and reputations. Oh, this is very, very interesting. See, ever since the takedown of All Might, they've been talking about this like major kind of worldview shift, that people will start thinking of the world differently in absence of the symbol of peace. But this seems to be like the actual triggering event. This is what's actually going to change society's viewpoint of heroes in a major, unretractable way. Anyone witnessing all of this would have to be stupid not to lose faith, right? Thanks for going strong up till now, Endeavor. That's the chapter title, used quite sarcastically here. At the time I kept searching for you, I didn't believe you were dead. Okay. Yeah. Todoroki and Hado are really the only like fighting ready people. Take them, come on, worry about the rest later. So Dabi now just attacks. He's had his ideological attack go quite well. Now he can start just burning people up. Wires from the sky. Okay, fight cancelled. Shigaraki reels him in. Oh, no. There he is. Blessed Genius is back on duty. Wow. Not only like a major benefit to the hero's side in this battle, but, you know, the absolute biggest blow to the entire propaganda attack of Dabi that you could possibly ask for. I'm a little disappointed because I kind of thought, you know, there would be a whole arc, a whole, you know, perhaps just the series going forward would be mired in this doubt, that there would be like this constant battle of ideology. This is going to be, I don't know, it seems like now if they wanted to, they could resolve this quite cleanly, where I was hoping for something very messy and psychological and philosophical even. But this is exciting too, and this is much more in line with what I expect from a shonen series. What I'd like to see though is not to just let the issue drop, to see Endeavor still get like cancelled. Because I think that would just be very interesting to see unfold in the world of this series. What does it mean to have someone whose power we rely on, but whose personal character we detest? Alright, we will find out how exactly they handle this in, I guess, 2 weeks. It looks like they're on a break next week. Okay, cool. Bye-bye.